Hello and welcome to this Perimenopause 101 workshop. What the heck is going on in your body? And I want to teach you how to adapt your exercise, your nutrition, your lifestyle, and your mindset to support you through this phase of life so you're not working against yourself. I want to help you learn how to restore your metabolism and get fitter, leaner, stronger, and healthier for the second half of your life, because that is all possible when you understand what's going on in your beautiful, amazing, incredible female body. Okay. So what we're going to cover in this workshop is what the heck is going on in your body in perimenopause. We're going to talk about the common struggles of perimenopause. We're going to talk about the 5 biggest mistakes that women make. They commonly make, okay? And it's worsening everything. We're going to talk about what you can and should be doing to take care of your body through this phase of life. And I'm going to introduce you to the fitter, leaner, stronger midlife method to restore your metabolism and feel better in your body. And I'm going to give you an invitation to work with me if you need some help and you want a step-by-step plan and support to get you through this phase of life. Okay. So why am I teaching this workshop? Because women are freaking out. They're hitting 40 and they're starting to freak out. Their body is starting to change. It's starting to take a shape. It's starting to take on a shape of its own. Some women, lots of women say, Carrie, I'm eating clean. I'm working on, I haven't changed anything. And I'm gaining all this weight. I feel terrible. I feel at the edge of a nervous breakdown. Some people say what used to work isn't working. Help me. What am I supposed to do? And there's a lot of panic and a lot of anxiety and a lot of overwhelm and a lot of frustration. And then a lot of frustration with yourself and anger at your own body. Okay. And then what happens is you end up on a restrictive diet or an intense workout program. You go all in, you burn yourself out, you fall off track, you get stuck with that guilt, shame, and frustration. It doesn't work. You blame yourself, and the cycle goes on and on. And this cycle is so common. It's kind of so common for women in a lot of our life cycle, except when we're in our 20s and 30s. Our body, we can get away with it. We can go on a strict diet and intense exercise regime, lose some weight, fall off track, pretty much. We're still okay, right? But in our 40s, that doesn't work anymore. And we don't know what to do. And the reality is, if you continue that cycle in perimenopause, you're going to further downgrade your metabolism. You're going to trigger systemic inflammation, which causes hormonal dysregulation. It leads to fat storage, exhaustion, and frustration. And this is the cycle I see so many women stuck in. And it really impacts their mental and their emotional health. And I don't want you struggling through this phase of life, because perimenopause is actually a normal phase of life. We all go through it. Our bodies are beautiful and amazing and designed for this, except we don't understand it. And we end up working against our physiology instead of with our physiology through this phase of life, which is where so many women struggle. I don't want that for you. It comes from learning about your body. You don't have to struggle through perimenopause. I love saying perimenopause doesn't have to suck when you understand it, and then you adapt your nutrition, your training, and your lifestyle so that you're working with your body instead of against it. Okay, that's what we're going to do here. Who am I to teach this? I'm Carrie. I'm a physical therapist. I'm a mom. I'm in my mid-40s. I've been working with women and in the health, in the fitness, in the nutrition, in the medical rehab space for almost 20 years. I've worked with thousands of women, and I've heard and I've seen it all. And I'm obsessed with helping women get fit, lean, strong, and healthy. Like, I'm obsessed with it. I don't know why this is my purpose on this planet, but it just is. Like, I hate seeing women struggle, because I know that women are the centers of their families and the centers of communities, and the world needs strong women. And when we're fighting against our bodies and restrictive dieting and falling off track and beating ourselves up and hating our bodies and working against them, we don't have the energy to give to our families and to our careers. And I know that when women are struggling with their body, when they're struggling with food, they're struggling in all the areas of life. I don't want that for you. I'm obsessed with women's physiology and psychology, and I'm obsessed with blending the physiology and the psychology to help women take back control of their bodies and realize that they do have so much control over their bodies when they do it right, when they learn to respect, listen, work with their body, and not against it. Okay. I've worked with thousands of women and I absolutely love it. And I always say, like, I'm pretty fit, strong, and healthy, and I feel really good in my body, both physically and emotionally. And that's not because my life is easy and that I'm lucky or that I have good genetics. It's because I understand this stuff. And I've adapted through the different phases of my life because this is my career. Like, this is what I do. It's what I'm obsessed with. You guys don't know what you don't know, which is why you struggle. And I want to just take what I know and infuse it into you and help you guys not struggle either. Okay. So let's just dive right in. Topic 1, what the heck is going on in your body? Okay. In perimenopause. So perimenopause is the 4 to 10 years before menopause hits. Now, menopause is what you usually hear people talking about. And that's actually just one day. That's the day when you haven't had a period for 12 consecutive months. That day is menopause, and then you're in postmenopause. But perimenopause is like, can be up to 10 or 12 years as you're approaching menopause. So it's a long period of a woman's life. And you know what's happening? So this is happening. These are your hormones in perimenopause. And so for 10 to 12 years of your life, you could be like, this probably explains how you're feeling, right? Like, I'm up and I'm down and I'm emotionally on, and then I'm off and I'm on track and I'm off track. And this sort of explains everything, right? This is what your hormones look like before perimenopause. This is when you're in your reproductive years and you're just cycling like normal every month, you're having your period. It's just nice and easy and steady and predictable. And then this happens in perimenopause. Okay, these are your hormones in perimenopause, and they are absolutely changing. So do not listen to anyone who says hormones don't have anything to do with it. They have everything to do with it. But that doesn't mean that you can't change and feel good. It just means we need to understand that these fluctuations are happening. We need to understand what these fluctuations mean in our body and how we must adapt. Again, adapt our workouts, adapt our nutrition, adapt our mindset and our lifestyle, because we can't change these hormone shifts. These are normal. Every woman goes through this. This is the normal part of the female life cycle. And our bodies aren't stupid. Like, our bodies wouldn't hand us anything evolutionary wise that we couldn't handle, right? Although, I mean, they handed us making babies, and that's not always an easy or pretty thing, but it's been given to women because we can handle it and we do it. Right. And so this is the same for perimenopause. This is essentially reverse puberty, a lot of hormone shifts going on. It's a lot of chaos going on, but it doesn't mean that you have to feel terrible. Okay. But here's the thing, especially for our generation now, we've been raised to push and have careers, and we live in a very modern world that's go, 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 except that our jobs are sit, 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 and life is stressful. Not just our hormones. I mean, you can look at that graph and think that's actually how my emotions feel. That's how my life feels. And that's the reality, right? Most women hit perimenopause already in chaos, right? If we look at the last few decades of life, building careers, raising families, not sleeping well, stressing tons, hustling tons, lots of emotions, most women, by the time they hit 40 and 50, they've had all kinds of big and small traumas that they've lived through, they've worked through, they've coped through, consecutive traumas, right? Childhood, careers, divorces, babies, you name it. Almost every woman I work with struggling has had a whole stack of these traumas that we've never really learned how to process. And so that's a story for another time, but you've been putting your health last, you've been yo-yo dieting, they've been inconsistently working out, and the ease of quick fix processed foods and the rise in sugar, that is just a part of modern life. It's like perimenopause is guaranteed to just be a shit show for so many, right? Because when we're in our 20s and 30s, our body is very resilient because of our steady hormones and what those hormones do. They keep us mentally strong, they keep us physically strong, they keep our metabolism going. Like, they do all kinds of things. They keep us steady because the reality is our bodies are designed to make babies and take care of babies. That's the phase of life we're in. And our hormones are designed to support us. They're very powerful, and we need to be resilient in our 20s and 30s to do all the things we need to do. But when we hit 40s, when we hit perimenopause and our body's like, okay, it's time to wind down the baby factory, because that's what our bodies are designed, like genetically, ancestrally to do. Our body's not as resilient as it once was. And that's when things really start to fall apart. And that's when the body says, well, you know, I can't cover for you anymore. I'm tired, right? All those restrictive diets, all that on again, off again stuff, like putting your health last and your body just chugging away without you putting any effort into taking care of it. And your body in perimenopause is just like, I can't do this anymore. And then you start to feel all the symptoms and signs from your body that is starting to break down. Okay. And this is when, instead of listening and loving and nurturing on our bodies, we freak out, get angry at our bodies, frustrated with ourselves and our bodies. And we end up on that diet roller coaster again. We hop on that next fad diet and we go on the next extreme workout challenge, and the cycle just continues. And we can't keep that up because we burn out, we fall off track, we don't have the emotional skills to stay on track. And we end up with just more guilt, shame, inflammation. Our metabolism just gets worse and worse. And the reality is we can't fight our physiology, and nor should we. We have to understand it and learn to work with our physiology. That's the secret to getting through perimenopause and feeling awesome. And no one's teaching you how to do this, but I'm here to teach you how to do this because I'm obsessed with this stuff and I find it so fascinating. Okay, so the signs and symptoms that you're feeling in perimenopause. Symptoms vary greatly from woman to woman. They may occur at different times and with different degrees of severity. The information that I'm sharing is meant to only be a guide. It's not a diagnosis. I'm not your medical practitioner. Does not cover all the possible signs and symptoms or reasons why you're having these things, right? Always check with your doctor, make sure that everything's going okay. So I want you to understand that, but then I want you to understand the things that you might be feeling. And again, I want you to instead of seeing these as like signs and symptoms of perimenopause that you are angry at your body about, I want you to start to think of these things as signs. This is your body trying to talk to you. It's trying to tell you something. And I want you to start to listen to these signs. These are like silent screams from your body saying, take care of me, take care of me. Because these signs they're common, but not everyone has them, which means we don't have to feel this way. Our hormones are changing, yes, but when we're not working with our body during that phase, we're going to feel these much more. And when you've been dieting and not taking care of yourself and over-exercising and over-stressing and not sleeping in your 20s and 30s, these are going to hit you even harder. And when we're not taking care of ourselves as our hormones are shifting, we're not taking care of ourselves like deeply and truly in alignment with what our body needs, these symptoms are worse. And that's just the reality, okay? And so these are the common things. So I just want you to think about it like that. Don't be angry at your body, but just be like, oh, my body's trying to talk to me. My body wants me to take care of myself. She needs some attention. One of my clients in my current program right now, she just had the most amazing aha moment. She's like, it just clicked. Something just clicked. I have been treating my body like an afterthought and like the enemy. I've been angry at her and not taking care of her and punishing her with aggressive exercise and no food. And then I'm mad at her because she's feeling terrible. When the reality is I've been like abusing her, my own body. Thank you, Carrie, for this shift, right? So she started to look at her signs and symptoms as cries from her body that needed to be taken care of. And that's what I want for you guys. So things that you might be feeling, right? Changes in menstrual period. I mean, these are normal because of the fluctuating hormones, right? They might be more frequent, less frequent, shorter, longer, heavier, lighter. They can be anything, any kind of crazy is a sign. Hot flashes, night sweats, because your body's thermostat becomes more sensitive to slight changes in body temperature. Vaginal symptoms, dryness, itching, painful sex. These symptoms are usually caused by low estrogen levels and may start months to years before that menopause transition. Okay. Problems with sleeping is a big one. Falling asleep, staying asleep, which then leaves you tired, which then leaves you craving carbohydrates and sugar without an off switch. Decreased sex drive, breast tenderness, racing heart rate, migraines, headaches. The other thing that happens when estrogen fluctuates, the serotonin and norepinephrine levels in your brain are affected, because these hormones don't just affect what's happening in your reproductive system. There's actually receptors around your entire body. And so when these hormones are up and they're down and they're all over the place and then they tank, that has impact on every other system in the body. And one of the big ones is in your brain. And women often, this is where you feel like you're having mood swings, you're irritable, you have an impaired memory, low concentration, brain fog, forgetfulness, depression, anxiety. It's like irrational emotions as well. You can't control the emotions. You don't have the stability you used to have. Okay. It's so interesting when you're like, oh, that's because my hormones are shifting. I'm not actually going crazy. My hormones are shifting. That awareness is very powerful. Okay. You might feel bloating, slow hair growth or hair loss, increased weight. Our bodies as women in midlife love to put on and store weight in our hips, our buttocks, and our midsection. It's just classic midlife weight gain. Okay. And we have weight loss resistance. We have decreased temperature regulation. We get hot faster and we sweat a lot more. I feel that in Costa Rica, living in my mid-40s. It feels like it's getting hotter every day, but I actually think it's just me. And again, like, it's just me. It's my body. It's shifting, and that's okay, and just stay cooler and and I stay hydrated extra. Okay. You actually have a decreased thirst sensation, especially when exercising, which increases your risk of dehydration, which can lead to night sweats and other symptoms. We have an overall metabolism decline, mostly because we're losing muscle. We're losing muscle mass. That's something that happens in midlife. Women, because of our hormones, we're losing 3 to 8 to 10% of our muscle mass per decade, which slows our metabolism. So our metabolism doesn't slow down because of the hormonal changes. It slows down because the hormone changes lead to the muscle loss, which is what downgrades the metabolism. Okay. So you'll know that part of the solution, strength training to build the muscle, or at least maintain the muscle so that we don't lose the metabolism. We'll talk about that later. Super interesting is that body dissatisfaction peaks in midlife. So there's a peak of body dissatisfaction in puberty because our bodies are changing. We feel uncomfortable and foreign in our bodies in puberty, right? But we also feel that in midlife. And so body dissatisfaction peaks, which triggers mental and emotional health issues. And then, of course, when we gain weight, we tend to reach for diets. We tend to get fad diets, quick fix diets, restrictive diets. And we end up with a bunch of disordered eating habits and behaviors. And that, again, triggers more mental and emotional health issues. So there's like a cascade of events that happens because of the shifts in our body in midlife that are totally normal. But it does happen, right? And we just need to be aware. And then again, some of the big things that happen are the sarcopenia, that's the muscle loss. We are more at risk of insulin resistance because of that muscle loss. And when we're insulin resistant, we have risk of dysregulated blood sugars, which again further decreases metabolism, increases inflammation, increases our risk of metabolic disorders such as diabetes and heart disease, and can lead to cancers when those blood sugars are dysregulated. Okay. We're less able to tolerate carbs because we don't have the muscle and we have this insulin resistance. And this is why people go to reduce carbs, but what happens is they give up all the carbs, and no one can give up all the carbs. So we end up restricting and then binging, or restricting everything. And then your body's not getting the right nutrients it needs, which throws this cascade of other effects. So just because I said that your body has a decreased carb tolerance doesn't mean you get rid of all the carbs. It means you need to learn how to eat the right carbs in the right balance for the right reasons, and be carb smart. Okay. Because you still need carbs. Just got to make sure we're smart about them. It's important in midlife. We also have decreased stress tolerance. We are just not as able to handle the chaos of life. We get more emotional. We're more irrational. We might we might snap more often. These are normal things. We also aren't as tolerant to inflammation. We might have been able to drink a stack of wine and be fine. Now it feels like a truck hit us. We might have been able to handle conflict at home or at work before. Now we're just not seeming to. I really feel this stuff. I had to stop drinking wine because I used to love my red wine. And then all of a sudden just started getting inflamed. And one day I had a glass of red wine, my whole face swelled up. My body just couldn't handle it. I just couldn't handle the inflammation of it. So certain foods will change. And inflammation is about lifestyle. So inflammation and stress go together. And I mean, we don't tolerate not sleeping. When I had babies, I barely slept and I could function. Now, like I'm in bed by 8:30, 9 o'clock. I can't function. I have to be in bed. Like these shifts are normal and they're happening. Again, meet myself with love, right? Through these changes, but just understand them. Okay. And then of course, all of this cumulatively like leads to that decreased metabolism and then the frustrating weight gain. So much is happening. I'm not going to go through all of this. It's too much science that I don't want to cover. I just want you to understand that all of those things are happening. Some of them you can't change your irregular periods. That's just a part of it. But when it comes to the metabolism and the sarcopenia and the insulin resistance, there's a lot that we can do. And when we understand that that's what our body's doing because again, we can't change the hormone shifts unless you go on medication, talk to your doctor about that. But for me, I focus on what I can control. And when I know that my body is losing muscle because of the hormone shifts, then I want to be eating and training in a way that's going to maintain and build muscle. If I know that my body's not handling stress and inflammation well, I'm not going to want to put it under a lot of stress, right? I don't want to continue to throw fire, what's the saying? Throw fuel on the fire, right? I want to try to reduce my inflammation. If I know that I'm at risk of insulin resistance and diabetes, I want to make sure that I'm eating. If I know that my blood sugars are going to be dysregulated and that's a normal thing, I want to learn how to eat to balance my blood sugars. I want to learn how to keep my body insulin sensitive so that that insulin is able to do what it needs to do, right? I want to learn how to control what I can control, because if I'm just not eating and my blood sugars are a mess and I'm not exercising or I'm over exercising or I'm doing too much cardio and I'm breaking down my muscles, I'm working against my body. I don't want to work against my body. I don't want to feel terrible. I want to feel good in my body. And so that guides how I choose my exercises and how I nourish my body and how I approach my entire lifestyle during this phase. Okay. It comes with just that awareness, just that understanding and really deep respect and love for my body and wanting to take care of it and wanting to feel good. I want to feel good in my body. I don't want to struggle through this period of life. I want to feel good. Just like in pregnancy, I did the same thing. I learned about pregnancy. I learned about what to do. And I didn't struggle through pregnancy, not because I'm lucky, because I understood my body, understood the rehab, right? Same thing for perimenopause. And I want to teach you guys how to do this too. Perimenopause hormonal changes cause a metabolic shift in the way your fat is stored and the distribution of that storage. That's just part of the hormonal shifts, is that your body loves to store. It's classic, especially when stress and inflammation are high. And muscle mass is going down. Our bodies love to store fat in our midsection, also in our butt and in our thighs. It's just the beautiful thing about being a woman. Again, there's stuff you can do to burn fat in that area and make sure that your blood sugars are regulated so that your body isn't having to take all this extra energy and store it in fat cells. We want to make sure that we're dialing that nutrition in. Okay. And the main reason your body stores fat in menopause is because of the hormonal shifts, but also because of the muscle loss, the increased insulin resistance, the decreased carb tolerance, and the reduced ability to handle stress and inflammation. So those are the factors that we really want to focus on adapting, because we can't change the hormones. We can't focus on what we can't control, but we need to focus on what we can control. And that's what we're going to talk about. So what the heck are you supposed to do, right? I want you to first pause. I want you to breathe. Your body is complex. It's also pretty simple, but it is amazing and it is so smart. And perimenopause doesn't have to suck. There's a lot going on in your body, but if you think it's going to suck, and if you stay stuck in the things that you can't change, if you get stuck in the feelings of hopelessness, and if you continue, and if you get stuck in blaming your hormone shifts for all of the changes you feel in your body, it's gonna suck. Okay. But in reality, yes, your hormones are changing. Yes, there's a lot of hormonal chaos, but with the knowledge of what's happening and what those hormone shifts are doing to your body, you get to focus on what you can control, right? Perimenopause doesn't have to suck if you work with your body and not against it. And so for you to do that, you need to first deeply understand the 5 common mistakes women make in perimenopause that worsen everything. You don't want to be struggling with these hormones and then throwing fuel on that fire by training, eating, thinking, living in a way that's working against those hormones, working against your physiology, making everything worse, which is what so many women do, because that's what this common knowledge is, right? Like oftentimes the things that we're doing wrong that are triggering it to get worse is what everyone's telling you to do. But I want you to know it's not your fault, but I'm super glad you're here so that you can learn about this stuff, okay? So the 5 biggest mistakes women make that are worsening everything in perimenopause are: number 1, you're focusing too much on cardio and punishing your body with exercise and not enough on strength training and proper recovery. Okay, like I said, we lose muscle mass. We are more insulin resistant. We don't want that. If we want, and then that will decrease your metabolism, set your body up to store fat, and put you in a category of increased diabetes and metabolic disease. And so focusing on strength training, right? So this isn't, I see women all the time. They start running more and doing more cardio and going to more classes and doubling up on the time. They go all in and then they fall all out. Now, your body hates, no matter what you're doing, it hates going all in and then falling all out. That is very stressful on your body. And remember, your body is it's not as tolerant to stress and inflammation. And all in, all out challenges, aggressive training programs that you can't keep up, it just contributes to more stress and inflammation. So we'll talk about what to do in the Fitter, Leaner, Stronger method next, but understand, got to be focusing more on strength training and proper recovery so that you don't burn out, so that you stay consistent and you build that muscle, you boost that metabolism, and you keep that stress and inflammation low. Okay. Mistake number 2 is women focus on restrictive, quick fix, fad diets that, again, you go all on, you can't keep up, you go all off, you restrict all the things, and then you end up binge eating all the things. And they do that instead of learning how to actually nourish their bodies and balance their blood sugars. So remember, our blood sugars become dysregulated. And anytime, and again, we're not as tolerant to stress and inflammation, and all in, all out is stressful. Skipping meals is stressful. Training fasted is stressful. Under eating and then binge eating is stressful and inflammatory on your body. And the hidden secret of the fasting world is that women are fasting in the morning when your body is supposed to be fueling up to have energy for the day, but then they're binge eating at night, and they tend to be binging on all the carbs. And remember what I said, like, our bodies aren't as tolerant to carbs. Your body's going to process carbs best in the morning because you need energy to get through the days, and you need carbs around your workouts is the best time to get them. But when we're training fasted and skipping breakfast and not eating till later, then our bodies are hungry and we're binge eating at night. Like, our bodies are just that's chaos, and our body hates chaos. Not going to tolerate stress and inflammation like that. That might have worked when you were younger, but it is not working now, and it's working against you. And so instead of focusing on those restrictive, quick fix, fad diets that have you counting, tracking, cutting, stressed and anxious, focus on how to actually nourish your body in a very simple way and balance your blood sugars. That's what I teach, okay? But I just want you to understand that those restrictive diets don't work. They certainly don't work. And the more diets you do in your life, the harder it is on your system, the more you lose muscle mass, because with quick weight loss comes more muscle mass. So often women were already losing muscle, then we're restrictive dieting, we're losing more muscle with that quick weight loss. Then every time you lose a bit of weight quickly and gain it all back, you've downgraded your metabolism. You're going to gain that fat back really quickly and gain that water back really quickly, but you're not going to gain that muscle back. And so every diet is less and less metabolism. You cause more metabolic damage. I see it so often in women. Okay. Mistake number 3 is reacting impulsively and emotionally, not with emotional regulation and critical thinking. So remember, our hormones are affecting our brain. We're like not as resilient. We're much more emotional. We're much more irrational. And so when we look in the mirror, we step on that scale, we're like, oh my God, it's up. It can make us like feel like we're at the edge of a nervous breakdown. Then we hop on the diet, even though I just told you restrictive diets don't work. It's like women know what to do and what works and what doesn't work, like consciously. But when those emotions hit, we react impulsively and emotionally, and from this subconscious programming that takes us back to those old diets and excessive exercise programs. And that's how we get caught. It's like, I know what to do and I'm not doing it. And so we need to get off that train. Mistake number 4 is women blame their hormones. They feel helpless. They stay stuck in that feeling of helplessness because my hormones are shifting. They hate on their body. They blame their body and they stay in that victim mindset. Because like I said, I mean, you can choose to look at that diagram and say, yeah, my hormones are shifting. This is inevitable for me. All my hormones. And then what? Like you just keep on doing what you're doing, right? You don't strength train, you don't balance your macros, you don't get your emotions under control. You don't do any of the work you need to do because you're just, this is it, right? And so that's a mistake women make. Again, focusing on what you can't control. I want you guys to focus that. I want you to understand that there's a lot you can do and I should be doing if you want to feel better in this phase of life. And then mistake number 5 is women are relying on motivation to get you results. Doing what you've always done, willpower, motivation, looking for inspiration in Facebook groups. People always, I'm here to find inspiration on my weight loss journey. And I'm like, inspiration is like, the internet is full of me. Like motivation gets you started, but it doesn't keep you going. You got to move beyond motivation. Okay. Doing what you've always done is keeping you stuck, right? And putting your health on the back burner, saying tomorrow, not investing in yourself, not getting the help you need, not learning the things you need to learn, not slowing down, not taking rest days, just putting yourself last over and over and over again, trying to figure it out alone. Those are mistakes that we make in midlife. A lot of times we expect, I'm 40, I'm 50, I've been running and doing all these things. I should know how to do this. Just need more willpower, just need more motivation. And you try to like hustle yourself, but the reality is you don't know what you don't know. And so you just stay stuck. And the other thing is that your brain has been programmed to do the same things. And so every time emotions get out of control and you react impulsively and not emotionally controlled, you always go back to the same things. That's why we have these habits that we can't break. That's why women like, I know what I should do, but I don't do it. And that's where, motivation's not going to work. Doing what you've always done, you can't keep doing that in your 40s. Putting your health on the back burner, man, at some point your health has to take front and center, or at least it has to be given some attention. And you need some help. Okay, you need some help. Because trying to figure it out alone with your old programming and your emotions out of control is going to keep you stuck forever. So what can and should you do in midlife to feel better, to work with your physiology instead of against it? This is the big question. Okay, this is the good stuff. And to help you, I've created over the last years of working deeply with thousands of women struggling. My women are active women. They want to be fit. They want to be strong. They're pushing careers. They're smart women, but they're struggling with their health. They're struggling with their body. They're struggling with their weight. They hate the fact that it's the one thing in life that they can't get in control of, that they feel out of control of. And because of that, I've created the Fitter, Leaner, Stronger midlife method to help you get on to get in control of this part of your life. And first of all, I want you to know that, like, if you're feeling miserable and out of control in your body and foreign in your body and like, oh my God, I'm doing everything wrong. And I want you to know it's not your fault. Okay. Diet culture, hustle culture has been teaching you the wrong strategies forever. And so it's not your fault. Okay. And second, I want you to shift your focus from losing weight, because that's the number one thing people come to me about. Yes, they say, Kiri, I want to get strong and I want to get healthy, but when they fill out their intakes, they want to lose weight. It's like this subconscious, always sitting there frustration with their body and how it looks and how it feels. And shifting that focus from losing weight to increasing your metabolism, balancing your hormones, and working with your body, not against it, is going to change how you approach this. When you Google weight loss, it tells you to eat less, exercise more, track, count, restrict, all this stuff, which again, works for a short time, but you lose muscle when you do those extreme things. And then when you gain it all back, plus some, you cause more damage to your metabolism, your hormones, and your inflammation. And when you shift from trying to lose weight, even though I know that's what you want, I get that, and I want to help you do that. But when you shift to how can I increase my metabolism? How can I balance and support my hormones? Balance, I don't love that word, support your hormones, because we can't really change that, but we can support your hormones. And how can I work with my body instead of against it? You can also already feel how that energy shifts. And then the strategy shifts, okay? I want you to start thinking long-term metabolic and hormonal health, not just fad diets and quick fixes, because they don't work long-term. They cause more damage long-term than they do help. Quick fixes and shortcuts get you like small results, but long-term, they make everything worse. You need to consciously understand that and be aware of that and understand that and see where you've done that without judgment. But then decide that now that you know, when you don't know this stuff, you can't change. I always tell my people, but once you know, then you can start to make the changes. Okay. So I want you guys to know that you must stop chasing weight loss through restriction, through more exercise, and through beating yourself up. More willpower, more discipline, punishment. And instead, you must focus on working with your body to increase your metabolism. Focus on getting fitter, leaner, stronger, and healthier for the long term. Focus on what you can do, not the hormone shifts you can't control. And you want to start to take care of your now body. A lot of women get stuck in this comparison to who they used to be and what they used to look like. And there's a lot of regrets and frustration. And that just creates a really difficult relationship between you and your body and you and yourself. That's never going to help. So I really help my clients meet their body where they are now and just accept this place and look forward. Look at today, look at our habits. Look, how can I take care of my body now? Right? How can I listen to my body and start respecting it now? And then we take care of it and move forward that way. Okay. So how do you do that? Always check in with your doctor, of course. But there's 3 pillars to restoring your metabolism in perimenopause, and it's about more than food and exercise. And that's what I've learned working with thousands of women over the years. I used to teach the workouts and the food, but the problem was women couldn't stick to it. They could stick to it for a little, but they couldn't stick to it for the long term. Most people would fall off track and go back to restrictive diets that don't work. They beat themselves up and all kind, or emotions would hit, and then they'd fall off track, and then they beat themselves up and go back to old habits of eating and skipping their workouts, even though they knew that that's what they needed to do to restore their metabolism. And so over the years, as these blocks have come up and I've studied them, I've learned, I've studied, I've created new learnings, and I think I've actually created the entire. This program is amazing because this is what you need. There's 3 pillars to restoring your metabolism in perimenopause. The first pillar is you have to adapt the basics. so that you can work with your changing hormones and not against them. Okay, what used to work for nutrition and exercise doesn't work anymore. So we got to adapt the basics. Then we have to rewire your brain. Okay, this is why you keep falling off track, right? Because once I could teach people the basics, and that's where my first programs came from, was we adapted the basics, but then they kept falling off track. And I realized, oh, their brains are wired. They don't know how to stay on track. And to stay on track, we need to really work on your brain. We need to literally rewire and change your brain so that you become consistent, become a habit master. That's actually that's my superpower is I'm consistent. And I remember putting this program together. I'm like, why can't they stay consistent? Why do they keep falling off track? And then I was listening to this podcast, and this woman was a life coach and talking about how brains are wired and how like your childhood and your life experiences creates these subconscious programs and all this autopilot stuff. And I'm like, oh, that's it. Their brains aren't wired properly. I need to rewire their brains, and I have to help them master their emotions, because if you can only stay on track when life is easy, then I mean, most of the time life is chaos. If you don't know how to stay on track when life is chaos and the emotions are all over the place, and in perimenopause, the emotions are even more all over the place, you can't stay on track. And that's why they can't get results, because they can't stay on track. And then we have to tame the inflammation, okay, which is really, really an important one. And it's a subtle one, taming the inflammation. And it's about more than just food and exercise. So let's go through this, right? We got to, pillar one is if you want to restore your metabolism, you got to adapt the basics. You got to focus more on strength training. Doesn't mean you can't do cardio. It means you sprinkle it in. But remember, you want to build muscle. Cardio is good for heart and lungs, good for mental health. It doesn't build the type 2 muscle fibers that we are losing, which means that like it doesn't help the metabolism. I have a whole workshop on just this, and I've got a whole module in the Fitter, Leaner, Stronger method, my signature 6-month coaching program, teaching you guys this. But we can't just, I just don't think in perimenopause, when we want to restore our metabolism and feel really good in our body and set our body up to get fitter, leaner, and stronger and healthier, because muscle's an endocrine organ and actually is really important for blood sugar balance and metabolic health. So it's not just about how you look. Even though I know if you want to lose weight, you want to increase your metabolism and build that muscle, you have to. It's also important for metabolic health, okay? Reducing diabetes, reducing heart disease, reducing like keeping cholesterol and blood sugar, all our blood pressure all in check. We need that muscle. And so what I recommend a hybrid progressive metabolic strength and conditioning program. That's what I teach my clients. Okay, we combine that with a macro balanced nutrition approach so that you're nourishing your body. We follow strategies that help you balance your blood sugars. Because remember, in midlife, we're at risk of blood sugar dysregulation, which leads to a whole host of metabolic and emotional mental health problems. So it's not about eating less, it's about eating right. It's about eating the right food in the right balance at the right time for the right reasons. And I teach you that in the macro balanced method inside of the program. Okay. And then I teach luxurious recovery. In our younger years, it's hustle, 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 push, push, push. In midlife, we are not as tolerant to stress and inflammation. You've got to learn how to rest. More is not better. More is just more. And midlife, more is destructive. It's inflammatory, it's stressful in your system, which is going to cause your body to dump out blood sugar and then store all of that because you don't need it. It contributes to fat storage and blood sugar dysregulation, which leads to the inflammatory problems and the metabolic problems. We got to practice luxurious recovery. Okay. You don't have to earn recovery. It's an essential part of the training in perimenopause. So relax. Pillar 2 is you got to rewire your brain. We are stuck in so many automated self-sabotaging habits. Perfectionism is a big one. All or nothing thinking. A lot of negative voices in your head, body blaming, falling off track. I mean, if you want to stop falling off track, if your habit is falling off track, beating yourself up, going all in, falling all out, trying to be perfect and not being able to do it, so forget it. We got to rewire your brain. Those are all self-sabotaging, classic self-sabotaging habits that are keeping you stuck in midlife. And those habits might have got you through earlier in life, but now when it comes to your health, those habits are keeping you stuck, and we got to rewire them. And the trick is that they're on autopilot. And the only way to change them is to bring attention to them and to study them, and to do intentional thought work, which is what I teach you, intentional self-coaching work, which is what I teach you in the Fitter, Leaner, Stronger method. We have to essentially like rewire your brain. I need to undiet your brain as well, so, and unhustle your brain. So many women come to me from diet and hustle culture, pushing. And that's not going to work anymore. And so we need to undiet and unhustle your brain and build a fitter, leaner, stronger in midlife brain. Okay, I always tell people, I wish I could infuse what I know and how I think into you, but I can't. So I need to bring awareness. We need to do some self-discovery work. We need to do some deep personal work. And then we need to do the thought work, the belief shifting work to change your brain, literally. You'll never change the outside if you don't change the inside, because you're going to continue to sabotage yourself. And this is where so many women are missing the mark. We're just thinking about diet and exercise. We're not doing the deeper work to rewire our brains and study our current programs that keep throwing us off track. This is the work that needs to be done. At the core is body image. When you don't like your body and you're using food and exercise as a way to change it, and then we're sabotaging ourselves with all this stuff, it's game over. We got to learn. We got to study body image rehab. We have to really, I teach body neutrality. It's not about loving your body. It's about learning to come to terms with what your body does for you, and to respect your body for all that it does for you. This is deep work that has to be done if you want to stay on track. Okay. Emotional mastery. Like I said, in midlife, we become much more irrational with our emotions, and most of us were never taught to process our emotions anyways. And what we've done is like learn to push our emotions down, and now they're just popping up in midlife so much. And I mean, 50% at least of your life is going to be full of negative emotions. And if you don't know how to stay on track and continue to take care of yourself through all of the emotions of life, you're continually off track and eating them and drinking them and just out of control. And then you're never consistent. And if you're not consistent with the basics, you'll never get results. These are all, rewiring your brain is set. You need to do this to stay consistent. Most people are never focusing on how do I stay consistent. They're just like, give me the food plan and give me the workouts, give me the food plan. And they hop from plan to plan, but it doesn't matter what the plan is. It's not the plan that's broken. It's your consistency that's broken. You don't know how to be consistent. And that's all because of your brain and how it's currently wired. It's about your emotional processing skills. And so we need to rewire it. And we also need to work on next level mindfulness, because 95% of your day is on autopilot. You're not even thinking. You're just running old programs, which is why you said you weren't going to eat the chips and you do. You said you weren't going to drink the wine and you did. You said you were going to meal prep the food, but you sat on the couch and didn't do it. Right? It's all about rewiring your brain, changing those programs, literally changing your brain. Okay. You have to do this if you want to restore your metabolism. And then the third pillar is tame your inflammation. Remember, our bodies are so sensitive to stress and inflammation in midlife. And so taming your inflammation includes lifestyle. So that's food and like what we're eating, the toxins in the environment, how we're responding to life, different practices to keep stress low and process stress. It's also circadian rhythm optimization, which is going to facilitate sleep at night. Everyone knows we need 7 to 9. I could say tame your inflammation, sleep 7 to 9 hours a night, but no one knows how to do that. And often it's because our circadian rhythm is so disrupted that if you want to get a good quality night's sleep, we have to optimize your circadian rhythm right from the moment you get up. Okay. And then we need nervous system regulation. Our nervous systems, our emotions, our stress is like always up here. This is a deep topic. I can't talk about it too much right now because it's a full module in the program, but it warrants me mentioning that if you want to tame your inflammation, you've got to regulate your nervous system. It's big pieces of the puzzle of restoring your metabolism. in perimenopause that nobody is talking about. Everyone's telling you guys to eat less and exercise more. And if you don't do that, you just need more willpower and more discipline. And there's so much, look at this. There's so much more to this. This is all the work you need to do to truly restore your metabolism and feel incredible in your body. Okay. And so it's not like, it's not rocket science stuff, but it's like deeper personal development work that most of us have never done when it comes to food and exercise in our body. A lot of people have never done personal development work or emotional mastery work or brain shifting, any of the nervous system regulation. We haven't known. That's what I always say to people. You guys just don't know. There's so much that you don't know that you really need to do to take care of your body. I mean, always we should have had these skills, but they were never taught to us. How could they be? I mean, there's so much in life. You're all studying for careers and take care of kids. But in menopause, as our bodies start to fall apart and we start to feel terrible, and we want to start taking care of our body, we have to think beyond just food and exercise. Yes, we need to dial in your food and exercise, but we've also got to do the rest of the work so that you can be consistent and that you can tame that inflammation. Okay, those are very important pieces of the puzzle that really cannot be skipped. And the crazy thing is, I've created this program, this system, these learning modules, because I've worked with so many people. And I've just learned as I went. I'm like, oh, here they're stuck. Oh, here they're stuck. Oh, here they're stuck. Oh, here's why they're not getting results. You're not going to find this anywhere else. This is very unique. It's very different in the health and fitness and metabolism space in women's health, because I've worked for so long and I listen so deeply, and I'm obsessed with studying and not just selling you guys programs like intermittent fasting. I mean, if I just sold you guys an intermittent fasting challenge, I'd be a millionaire, but I know that will cause more damage than it will support people. And so I've just continued to study and learn and uncover the root causes of your struggle. And that's where this came from. And it works. And a bonus strategy is that you need support, community, and mentorship, and coaching. Mentorship is coaching. It's so hard to do this alone. You can Google all day and that will just increase your stress and anxiety. I love the program I have because I've taken everything off and just put it in one tight little site, and you just watch every module in order. There's no chaos. We don't handle chaos well. So all of this stuff has to go. Tighten it up. Focus on one place of learning. It helps so much. And then most people need coaching. They need community to talk about this stuff so you don't feel alone. I remember when I was really struggling with my mental health, and my physical health, because they go together. My mental health was struggling, and then my physical health was struggling, which caused more mental health issues and emotional issues. And I remember being like, I feel like I'm drowning. I need help. And I personally didn't want to go to one-on-one therapy. I wanted to be in a group. And I actually sought out a life coach, and I told him, I need you to find a few other women and we need to do this work. Because I needed to feel like I needed to be around other women who were just like me. And that program changed my life, which is why I include coaching in this program. It's not just listen to these modules. It's listen to these modules, but then come to the calls and talk to me. Tell me what you learned. Tell me what you're struggling with. Tell me what's like hitting you in your soul, and realizing like, oh, this is where I've been stuck. I've needed to hear this so badly. And that's where coaching comes in. And when you get stuck, we can work through it, because thought work is so much of the change process, of the habit change. Everyone's a habit. Just do it for 21 days and it'll be a habit. That's not true. It doesn't work, because you're focusing on the action. If you want to change your habits, you got to work on the thoughts and the beliefs. And that takes work. That takes talking. That takes conscious work and coaching with other people. And that's what I do in the program. I am your coach. I'm there every week to talk to you. So what did we cover today, you guys? What the heck is going on in perimenopause? Showed you your hormone shifts. We talked about the common struggles and signs and symptoms of perimenopause and what you might be feeling. We talked about the 5 biggest mistakes women make that are worsening everything. We talked about what you can and should be doing to adapt your lifestyle to match your physiology, right? And we talked about the 3 pillars. You got to adapt the basics, you got to rewire your brain so you can stay consistent, and you have to tame your inflammation. Okay. So what do you do now? Where do you start? Right? Okay, that's all great, Carrie, but now what do I do? That's a lot of information. I feel more overwhelmed. And I get that. The purpose of this was just to show you what's going on in your body, and that there is a lot going on in your body, and that what you think you need to do is actually making things worse. And what you actually need to do is beyond just food and exercise. Has to be. It has to be. And so I said at the beginning that at the end of this workshop, I was going to introduce you to, or that I was going to invite you to work deeper with me if this is something that you really need help with. If you want to restore your metabolism and you want a step-by-step system, if you want coaching, if you want support, if you want to do the deeper work, this is for you if that sounds like you. You just want a quick fix and a workout program and a recipe guide and an intense challenge. This is not for you. So I don't want to waste your time, and feel free to hop off. And I hope you enjoy the information I shared so far. But if you're like, Carrie, I'm struggling with my body, I'm struggling with food, I'm struggling with my mental and emotional health, and I feel like I'm at the edge of a breakdown, then keep listening, because I want to introduce you to the Fitter, Leaner, Stronger Midlife Method, my signature 6-month step-by-step coaching program to help you get back in control of your body and your mind. Okay. This is the only 6-month program that I know of that exists anywhere for women specifically over 40 that focuses on increasing your metabolism to build a fitter, leaner, stronger body that is not only burning fat, but feeling incredible by combining my unique, progressive, hybrid metabolic strength and conditioning training system with a macro-balanced, anti-inflammatory, mindfulness-based emotional mastery approach without dieting, restricting, or tracking a thing that not only has you feeling incredible and back in control of your body, the way it feels and the way it looks, but permanently changes your bad habits and your relationship with food and your body in the most supportive and sustainable way possible. Okay. That's why it's the only program in the world that exists, because it's so comprehensive. It is so holistic. It takes everything into account in ways other people have no clue about. Because I worked with so many of you, and I am one of you. And so the guiding Fitter, Leaner, Stronger Midlife Method principles are: you must work with your body, not against it. You must nourish your body, not restrict it. You must listen to your body, not ignore it. You must respect your body. You can't hate it. Okay. This is not for you if you want to stay focused solely on weight loss, the scale, and restrictions. It's not for you if you're looking for a quick fix, a fad diet, a cleanse, or a detox program. This is not for you if you don't want to learn anything. This isn't for you if you don't want to do some deep personal development work. And this is for you if you just want to be alone. Okay. You just want to do it yourself and figure it all out alone. Okay. This is not for you. This is absolutely for you if you're struggling with weight loss resistance, especially around your midsection. If you're craving, restricting, binge eating, and left feeling toxic and out of control. It's for you if you don't trust yourself around food, if you keep falling off track, if you are stressed, overwhelmed, anxious, and are exhausted thinking about food and hating your body all the time. This is for you if you want to learn, if you want to be supported, if you want to do the deep inner work, if you want to end your self-sabotage, rewire your brain, and get your body and mind back on track so that you can permanently lose the weight that is holding you down and build the fitter, leaner, stronger, healthier body that you desire. a body that looks and feels amazing. I want you to close your eyes for a moment, just take a breath, and imagine a life with me. Imagine a life free from junk food cravings, free from thinking about food and stressing about food all the time, free from binge and overeating when no one's looking. Imagine a life where you can eat one cookie, enjoy it, and not the whole bag, free from the nutrition and the constant body struggle. Imagine a life confident about what to eat and how much to eat, where healthy choices are just normal and easy. Imagine a life with Beyonce level energy all day, where you love and respect your body. Imagine a life free from tracking, counting, and stressing about every damn bite of food. Imagine a life in clothes that fit and feel good, and in a body that feels lean, sexy, and strong. Okay. So how does the program work? You can open your eyes now. What an amazing life. The thing with an amazing life like that is that when you get all that stuff under control, you've got energy to do other things, not just think about food in your body all the time. It takes up all your energy. And I know that when women struggle with food and body, they struggle in all the areas of life. And my clients tell me over and over again, Carrie, the rest of my life is better too. Like I have less stress, less anxiety. And I'm like, my relationships are better. My work is going better. Everything just gets better. It's all encompassing when you struggle with food and body. And I'm here to help you. So how does the program work? The Fitter, Leaner, Stronger method is comprised of a core set of 13 modules. That's the core curriculum. It includes community of other women just like you, and it includes weekly live group coaching with me. So we get to chat and talk live, and I can help you and work with you. And I just love it. It's so great to get off of here and like be together and actually chat. And when you combine these three, and you can't really skip any of these parts, because you can see like curriculum and community, that gives you the skills you need, the confidence and the focus that you need, the support and the consistency that you need. And when that all comes together, you go from like struggling and anxious where you are right now, overwhelmed, stressed, and confused, and you become a confident, fitter, leaner, stronger woman. That's what I want for you, to become a confident, fitter, leaner, stronger woman. And so the curriculum is the what to do. That's the step-by-step learning that you have to do. Now, I know a lot of people get a bit freaked out, but I like to work with women who want to learn about the workouts and the macro balancing, but also want to learn about themselves and what's going on in their brain and how it's currently wired and how do we rewire it. So you got to have this desire to learn, okay? And that's in the curriculum. Then there's the coaching, right? That's the expert guidance and help you need as you learn and implement and hit obstacles and hit belief ceilings. And we need to work through those things, okay? You have to get out of your head. Most of you are in your head and everything is just swirling. And that's what creates the anxiety and the overwhelm and the stress. And what I find on the coaching calls is that we can talk things out, and that like helps you manage your mind, manage your thoughts, and that brings down stress and overwhelm. And you need to get out of your head. Coaching calls are so powerful. The women always join because they want to restore their metabolism and lose weight. But at the end, they're like, the coaching was my favorite part. They obviously feel better and restore their metabolism and lose weight, but they love the coaching. They love the community. They didn't even realize how much they needed that in their life, because you don't know what you don't know. I love coaching. I love getting coached. I love coaching. It's just super powerful. And then there's the community. That's the daily support you need to stay focused and consistent so that you get results. Those are your people. They're going to support you. Okay. These are women just like you, right? So the curriculum, there's the FLS 13 module curriculum. And remember, we follow the 3 pillars, right? Adapt the basics, rewire your brain so you can stay consistent and you can reprogram those bad habits. And then pillar 3 is you got to tame the inflammation. Now, when you join the Fitter, Leaner, Stronger method, you are going to get the curriculum on demand in a special website, and you're going to get lifetime access to it. Like, you're going to get this forever. People listen to these things over and over. New things come up in life, and I'm like, just go back to the emotional mastery module. Like, go have a listen to it. Part of the rewiring your brain is listening and learning through the modules. And I want you to have that. So you're going to get that for life, so that there's no risk on that for you when you join. You get this program for life, and any of the updates that I make to it. Okay. And that's lifetime access to the program as long as the program's available, but I don't think it's going anywhere. I love this program. It's so good. And so here's just a sneak peek into the curriculum. The thing about these, like I said to you before, I wish that I could take the things I know and the way my brain thinks, and I wish I could infuse this into you so that you think the way I think, and that this all becomes easy and you never have to think about fitness and nutrition again. I don't stress about workouts and food and health or any of that. It's so easy for me. I never fall off track. I never stress. I'm never overwhelmed. I can eat pizza and have a margarita and it's no big deal. I don't do on track, off track, and I want that for you because it's a beautiful place to live. And I'm super fit, strong, and healthy, and I get fitter, stronger, and healthier every year. It's like I kind of blow my own mind because I practice my own principles all the time. But I need your brain to operate and work, know the things I know, and think the way that I think, essentially, when it comes to health and fitness, because this is my zone of mastery. But I can't just infuse it into you. I have to teach it to you. And so this is the best way that I can do that. And it takes time. I'm not going to lie. There's no quick fix. Remember, this isn't for you if you want a quick fix. Quick fixes don't work. You can keep jumping quick fix to quick fix. But the best way to restore your metabolism, get your health and your emotional, mental health on track, is to slow down and learn and to enjoy. I always tell my people on our first getting started call, enjoy this journey. Don't rush. Take your time, listen deeply, come to calls and talk to me about it. Implement slowly. That's how you get the best results that last and that feel incredible. Remember that on again, off again. Your body hates that. You can even see, like, my approach is gentler, it's calmer. Our bodies don't like stress and inflammation. And so even the approach you have to approach it calmly. Keep that inflammation, keep that stress low. But these modules they're what you need. And they're actually laid out in an order that you must like work through them, because what I found as I created it over the last 10 years is that I teach something and then people would get stuck. And I'd take away the next roadblock by creating the next module. And then they'd be like, oh, that makes sense. And they do it. Then they get stuck again. I'm like, oh, okay, where are they stuck now? And so these actually, they all go together in the order that they're laid out. And you're not going to find these anywhere else because I created this. This is my system because I worked with thousands of women struggling. Okay. So module 1 is get clear, get focused. Module 2 is all about progressive metabolic strength and conditioning. Module 3 is explore your relationship with exercise. Module 4 is pro-metabolic eating. This is the macro mastery module. Module 5 is undiet your current diet brain. Module 6 is where we rewire and build your fitter, leaner, stronger brain. Module 7 is where you learn to master your emotions so you can stay on track through everything. Module 8, end your self-sabotage so you can break those old patterns that you keep getting stuck in. Module 9 is body image rehab, and really coming to that place of neutrality, acceptance, and body respect. Game changing. Module 10 is where macros meet mindfulness, and we start living at a more conscious level. So we get out of that 98% autopilot mode and we really begin to reprogram that brain so that you stay on track. Module 11 is circadian rhythm optimization, so we can improve your sleep quality. Module 9 is nervous system regulation, so we can really tame that stress and inflammation and get your body get that cortisol down and get your blood sugars really regulated. Okay. And then module 13 is self-discipline. I love teaching self-discipline at the end. Most people teach it at the beginning and use it as a way to punish yourself. I teach self-discipline at the end, and comes with tons of self-kindness, tons of self-compassion. And you learn to become your biggest coach and your biggest cheerleader, so that you really, really, especially after you've done the rest of the modules, the people just love it at the end, because like, oh, this makes so much sense. Then they can really take everything up a notch. This curriculum is just, it's so unique and different and so life-changing. I can't stress it, because restoring your metabolism in perimenopause is about more than food and workouts. That's where you're stuck. All you've been doing is thinking about food and workouts and none of the other stuff. And so we need to take a more holistic approach to this. We're complicated women. We've been through a lot, and healing our bodies takes a holistic approach. It takes a deep approach, and it's amazing work. So in the program, you also get 6 months of live online group coaching and 24/7 community. So we get the Facebook community, but this is where you're going to get motivation, support, inspiration, accountability, and that expert coaching, support coaching I was talking about. I used to run this program in 16 weeks, but people were feeling rushed and they needed more time. So I extended it. It's 6 months. So you get lifetime access to the curriculum, and then you get 6 months of live group coaching every week. Every week we meet. You don't have to come every week, but if you wanted to, right? Most people want support. They want accountability. Well, I'm giving it to you. Every week we get to coach, we get to talk, we get to hang out together. It's life-changing, and it's 6 months. Tons of time to make massive radical changes. Okay. You're going to get access to the Fitter, Leaner, Stronger Progressive Metabolic Strength and Conditioning Program Library. And I help you choose your programs, adapt them, progress them, so that you continue to build lean muscle, restore metabolic function. Okay. And there's loads of programs, so you'll never need more workout programs again. These are programs I follow, and they work like killer, because we're following progressive overload and metabolic conditioning. Okay. The Fitter, Leaner, you also get the Fitter, Leaner, Stronger Pro Metabolic Macro Balance Recipe Guide, so that you know what to eat. I teach you how to macro balance your plates. I'm going to teach you how, in the module on macro mastery, I'll teach you how to eat the right food in the right balance at the right time, so that you balance your blood sugars, nourish your body, become metabolically flexible, and really optimize your training so that you can build the muscle and improve your metabolism. And then I've got all the recipes that you need. Okay. You're also going to get the protein power guide, and I'm going to help you. The only thing that you could calculate, I don't calculate, we don't use MyFitnessPal, but I want you in midlife, you need to hit your protein. Protein is so important. I stress it, I emphasize it. There's a power protein guide you get as well. I'm going to teach you how to calculate your unique and custom protein amounts, so that you're eating enough protein, because that's going to keep you full longer. It's going to spark metabolism. It's going to reduce cravings, and it's going to prevent muscle loss. We need to be building that muscle if we ever want to improve our metabolism. Okay. So many women have been through this program in its various iterations. I've always been teaching the same stuff, and it works. And so why does it work? Because instead of working against your natural physiology, you're working with your physiology, and you're working beyond just food and exercise, because it requires a holistic approach when you're a woman, like a strong, independent woman in midlife who's been through a lot, who's pushing, who's goal oriented, who's high performance. We've got to address the other pillars. Okay. Like these women, all doing the work. I have so many testimonials about this program. It's wild. Sometimes I blow my own mind. I'm like, oh my God, amazing. It doesn't blow my mind. I'm very confident in this program, and that it works, and that it's awesome, because it's so holistic and fully encompassing of body, mind, and soul in just the best way possible, the most interesting way possible. Yeah, it's fascinating. So if you want to build a fitter, leaner, stronger, healthier body that feels incredible, if you want to learn how to balance, I should say optimize your hormones, tame your inflammation, and restore your metabolism, if you want to end the nutrition and body struggle, get out of the overwhelm, anxiety, and stress you're currently feeling, and if you want to start to work with your female physiology instead of against it, so you can restore your metabolism and get results that look and feel incredible, join the Fitter, Leaner, Stronger method, and let's get restoring your metabolism, okay? I practice exactly what I preach, and I'm not lucky, and it's not good genetics, and I don't have tons of support at home. I have a sedentary job, had it for almost 10 years, but I practice exactly as I preach, and I'm super consistently doing the things that work with my physiology. I don't have any of the on again, off again. I don't do any cuts and chaos. And workouts and nutrition are easy for me. They're like the easiest thing in my life. I don't think about anything. I don't think about them ever. I just do the things I need to do and I get on with my life. I work out 3 to 5 days a week. They're intentional, structured workouts. They're 30 to 45 minutes. I'm not spending all day in the gym, not running marathons. I just understand physiology and I understand how to be consistent. And I've learned to master my emotions. I've learned to regulate my nervous system. I've learned how to do all the things, and my brain is wired. I have a fitter, leaner, stronger brain. That's where that came from. That's how I figured this all out, is that I think I said this already, this podcast I listened to, and this woman was just saying how some people struggle because their brains are they're just wired differently. I was like, oh my God, my brain is wired differently. I have a fitter, leaner, stronger brain because of my childhood and my sports and my career and my studies and my interests. And so I don't diet and I don't count and I don't track and I don't need to. And I'm like, they don't need to either. Like, I don't think it's that. I think nutrition's simple. I think this whole metabolism thing is simple. I think nutrition is simple. And everyone around me thinks it's so hard. It's so complicated. It's so overwhelming. And I'm like, oh my God, that's the difference. They think it's hard. Their brain's wired different, have to wire their brain. And so I consistently stay on track at no ups and downs. That's what I want for you. Okay. And this is my zone of mastery. This is what I'm here to do. Program's $9.97. You get lifetime access to the core curriculum and the resources. Get 6 months of weekly live group coaching and as much or as little accountability as you want. You get workouts forever, recipes forever. You get your metabolism back. You permanently are going to lose fat. You're going to have no more anxiety about food in your body. You're going to have all day energy. Okay, that is more than worth it. Okay. The value, whatever. It's $9.97 to join this program. And as a result, you're going to experience Beyonce level energy, no more cravings, no more restrict, binge, and overeating cycles. Your inflammation's going to go down. You're going to nourish your body with confidence and control. No more confusion, no more on track, off track. You're going to be free from dieting, counting, and tracking forever. You're going to have no more stress about food. You're going to have a new level of respect and love for your body and all she does for you. You're going to have an improved mindset that you never knew was available to you. It's going to be a new way of life. You're going to trust yourself around food in any situation. You're going to be you're going to have metabolically healthy habits that stick with ease, not with struggle, with ease. You're going to have total food freedom, a powered up metabolism, permanent fat loss, and a fitter, leaner, stronger, healthier body that feels incredible. People are going to be envious of. This program works 100% of the time if you do the work and show up to the calls. Even if you do the work with like 70% of your heart, if you listen to those modules, you are going to start that rewiring process, and this program is going to work for you. And I'm going to leave you with this. No woman has to struggle in perimenopause. No woman has to feel foreign in her body. No woman has to feel stuck, overweight, overwhelmed, unheard, or drained anymore. No woman has to struggle with food. This program will change everything. The solution to most health problems, physical, metabolic, mental, emotional, is what I teach you in this program. When you balance everything the way I teach you, your body comes into balance and starts working better. Got to get you off this on again, off again, beating yourself up cycle, this restriction cycle. You've done so much for others over the last years. Now is your time to focus on you. It's time to take care of your body. So if you're ready to start working with your body instead of against her, feel incredible in your body and set yourself up to feel incredible for the second half of your life. Join, I hope to see you inside the Fitter, Leaner, Stronger method. Just send me a message on Facebook, on Instagram, via email. I will put a link to this program to sign up underneath this video or in the email that you're watching it, or send me a message and I'll send you the link to join. Truly the best time to have started working on this stuff was actually in your 20s and 30s. But the second best time is like right now. And remember, you get lifetime access to the curriculum, the workouts, the recipe guides, and all the updates I make to the program. And you get 6 months of coaching. I mean, that's more than enough time for you to start to implement and make the changes that you need with the support that you need. Okay. So it's not like, oh, I got to start next week. It's like, no, just start now. There's no better time. There's never going to be a good time. That's the reality. And that's, that's one of the mistakes we make. I'll wait for tomorrow. I'll wait till life gets easier. I'll wait till life slows down. I'll wait till summer. Never slows down. It's never going to slow down. You've got to just start. You've got to decide to take care of yourself, to get the help and to invest in yourself the way you know you need to before this stuff gets worse. So anyways, thanks so much for listening. I love teaching this and coaching you, and I hope to see you in the program. Take care.